Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back. Unfortunately, not via my capture card this time. That not what I want. This has been quite a messy stream so far, and I do apologise to all the viewers. And here we are then, for Q3. I've missed quite a lot here. I do know that Mick got knocked out in Q2, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's going on there. And also Fatality got knocked out in Q2 as well. So one of the front runners, one of possibly the favourites, got knocked out there. As I will have to sort out my audio settings. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so this time it should hopefully not echo as much. Okay, so we are back, as I've been deafened by the sound of the game as well now. And we're now back, hopefully now, for good. So welcome back everyone to the stream, hope you're all well. Hopefully you didn't miss me too long, I was gone, trying to sort out my technical difficulties. So the top 9 that are going through to Q3 are iStreams in the Red Bull, CDM, Ash Quinn, Seto, DD Death Dragon, Maz, Fozzie Bear, Envoy Extreme and Ryan Van Doom. One thing to note as well is we are now in intermediate conditions, which is quite difficult, as I'll set up my my HUD once again. But yeah, unfortunately, some problems with my capture card, the graphics. I believe it's something to do with the graphics, as the picture's still staying on my television, so there's no loose wires. I'm going to see what the problem is, otherwise I'm probably going to get it returned and probably get myself an upgrade. But we'll see for now. Okay, so the drivers currently lap are iStreams, Ash Quinn in the Mercedes, Seto on the Ferrari, VIL Maz in the Racing Point, Envoy Extreme in the AlphaTauri, who's just started his lap, and Ryan Van Doom in the Williams. So we'll go with who is the driver on a lap at the moment, and that is Maz. He was the first one out, and I've got to say that is a lovely pink helmet. So the Racing Point driver, can he get a decent quality result here? He runs no assist on the controller, so fair play to him. I struggle in this game. He goes purple sector 2, the first driver to set a lap. One thing to note is Maz's qualifying pace last season at times was absolutely extraordinary. Unfortunately, the race pace, whether that be due to connection issues or just bad luck really, he struggles. Hopefully Maz can be one of the contenders this season, which in my opinion he will be. Locks up into the final chicane as he heads around the final corner. Very ginger on the throttle. It's a very difficult track in the wet, I've got to say. A lot of fast corners, you make one mistake and you're in the wall. Obviously it's quite a wide track, but the speeds that you're carrying as you go off the track, for example Daniel Kvyat last season, when he had a tyre failure, and there we go then, iStreams goes 2 seconds faster than VIL Maz, and that's 37.9. Ryan Van Doom then makes it P2 for himself in the Williams, and that's a 38.1, so iStreams currently on the pace. If anyone to be pole position, at the moment it's quite an unpredictable top 10. If anything, it's not the top 10 I had in mind. A lot of the drivers like Fatality, like Rick, who I believe might have been gunning for pole, are outside the top 10, so this could be an interesting race and it really could shake things up. It's Timmer missed it all out as Envoy Extreme goes third faster with 38.1. Maz 1.5 seconds off the pace of the nearest driver. He's got a lot to work to do in his second lap. I think he'll be okay though. But he's currently P4 out of the 4 drivers that have set laps, as Seto there at 1 minute 50, so he must have made a mistake at some point in the Ferrari rookie. He'll be one to watch in the race, I'll give you that. Ash Quinn currently the only driver not to set a laps. He must have invalidated, he wasn't an outlap, as DD Death Dragon with a fantastic 35.7 lap time puts himself on provisional pole position, and that is exactly what the Dutch driver needed. Fantastic lap there. He isn't in the McLaren this season. That was my bad. He's in the Alfa Romeo, doing a fantastic job. In terms of drivers who are in my seat, Ash Quinn is currently in P8. Fozzie Bear then, as he head through the fast right-hander of Cops. This track is so fast. A lot of very iconic corners. But again, it's a track where you make one mistake, you could either go from setting an amazing lap time, as we've got yellow flags in sector 2, probably for cars running out of fuel. Yeah, it's one of those tracks where you either struggle or you get it spot on. So we'll stay on board with Fozzie Bear through the final sector then, shall we? currently on his outlap actually, so what we'll do is we'll stay on board. There we go, the CDM has gone P2 with a 36.1. Again, apologies, I completely missed that. This stream has been quite difficult so far, so trying to actually catch up what's actually going on. Ashquin then has left the pits to start his outlap, but we'll stay on board with Fuzzy Bear. So through the first right-hander, take him flat out, but in the wet it's very difficult, and we found out the hard way. Fuzzy Bear then facing the wrong way. Can he get the car facing the right way? He can do indeed, and that's good to see. Maz, is he coming to the lap? He's 5/10 faster. Yellow flags, but I'm not sure why. He's not out of fuel. He seems to be going for quite a few laps, which is a good idea to do in the wet. Currently, he is the only driver on a fast lap as a Fuzzy Bear. Obviously, he's put in the first corner, but he invalidates his lap time, and that means as he comes around the final corner, he's going to have to either go around again or come back to the pits and go for another lap. This is not what the British driver needs. Maz wants to be up there fighting it, and he's 1.5 or he's nearly 4 seconds off the pace now. I think that put in perspective how good of a lap that was by DJ Just Dragon. It's almost 2.5 seconds faster than 4th place Ryan Van Doom. I can't see the traction drying anywhere, so again that just shows that wet it really is an equaliser, and really shows the classiest drivers in the wet, you could say. So yeah, DJ Just Dragon at the moment on course to get the first pole season. Maz does go purple set to 1 though, so we'll stay on board, and this could be interesting as he finally got hooked a lap together, whereas I've moved to the wrong driver. That's what I wanted, the outboard camera. Again, I said I'm new to commentary, I'm still getting used to how this works, and I keep making mistakes, so you'll have to bear with. I do want to apologise for that though. What we'll do is we'll get the stream up, see who's watching, and we'll see who's put something in the chat. Currently only one driver watching, but as Maz heads around Maggots and Beckett's towards the final sector, does he go purple again? And he does do, and he's 9/10 up, and this is going to be a fantastic lap. If he can get this final sector done, he might be on for a good lap then. So VIL Maz, very good race pace last season, very good qualifying pace I should say last season. Just short in the race, but once again he's showing he's got the pace with no assist on the control. He locks up again. It's quite a difficult braking zone into the penultimate corner, round the final corner. Where's this lap going to put him? And it's going to put him in P4, ahead of Ryan Van Doom by 4 thousandths. Fantastic improvement there by VIL Maz, and he should be happy with himself. But currently that lap by Death Dragon might stand the test of time here. Although the drivers, he put the goal in down, and all the other drivers will be going for that goal. As Ashquin puts in a 35.9, so yep, there we go. Goal has been thrown down, 2/10 off DJ Just Dragon still. Seto though, round the final corner to start his lap. What can he do? We'll go on board with Envoy Extreme. Actually we won't go on board as he's just started his lap. Actually he's the only driver on a fast lap currently. That's the furthest round on his lap. So very tricky corner. Obviously this fast left-hander was where the two Haas drivers came together in 2019, and if you've ever watched Drive to Survive you'll know what happened next. All that said is doors were smashed, and Gunter Steiner wasn't a very happy man. Through the hairpin that I don't know the name of, because I don't know my Silverstone corners very well, and I should be ashamed of myself, as he heads out onto the old start-finish straight. I think it's a fantastic place to overtake if you get it right. Now this is a corner where in the dry it's flat out, but in the wet you put your foot down too much, you can struggle. He runs wide, but obviously he lost a bit of time, so it doesn't get counted as an invalidation. Through Maggots and Beckett's again, down to 5th gear. Again I think a bit more 6th gear because of the wet, because of the improved traction. Is DRS still enabled? It sounds stupid, but no, it isn't enabled. Obviously it won't be. Sometimes in the wet it is actually still enabled, which confuses me. Envoy Extreme though, on his debut in VIL, or in Div 2 at least, he's on course for a good lap here. Through the final corner then, what can he do in the Alpha Tauri? Currently P7. He might put his car into a good position as he comes across the line. That's P4, and that knocks Maz down to P6, and Ice Cream's down to P5. And that means now he is only 8/10 off the pace, but I don't think he'll have time for another lap, is he? Bit of a slide there, you might have lost a bit of time. We've only got half a minute left in the session, and DJ Jess Dragon at the moment, his lap looks to be the lap for pole position. CDM then, and he invalidates his lap time, so that means he might not be able to actually complete another lap here, and I think that's over. I don't think CDM will be able to improve on his lap time, and that is it. CDM, regardless of what other drivers do, will finish at minimum 3rd place, and he puts a bit of a slide on there. Unfortunately, he did invalidate it. As we do now reach checkered flag, Ashquin's done all he needs to do. He went out later in the session, but put a fantastic lap time of 35.9. Again, good drive there by one of the Indian contingent in the league. As CDM does actually enter the pits. Envoy Extreme 5/10 up though. This is a good lap so far. How much quicker is he in the middle sector? It's 4/10, so at the moment that will put him just ahead of CDM, so the hashtag might have just done enough here. There's a second gap between Ryan Van Doom and CDM, but it looks like Ryan Van Doom won't be improving because he's retired from the session. I believe he's retired on track though, which if that's the case is rather naughty. iStream's currently in P6 and he's 2/10 down on his lap. And I think at the moment no one is beating DJ Jess Dragon, which is fantastic for the Dutch driver. Look at that then, Envoy Extreme goes P4, and I don't think iStreams is going to improve here. We'll go aboard with Seto to see what he can do. We've got 4 viewers in the stream. Good evening everybody. Unfortunately we're not able to get the capture card stream working as Seto comes through the final corner. Then you'll have iStream's Dirty Ed just in front as he comes across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be 1:54, and that's P9. So this is your man on pole position. Might not be by 2/10 because he seems to be on it at the moment, with no one around him seemingly getting close to him. He comes across the line at 35.2, and he goes in pole position for the British Grand Prix. DJ Jess Dragon, I tip my hat to you, sir. What a fantastic lap, and he gets the first pole position of the VIL2 season. Wow, what a lap there that was. Well, that is it. DJ Jess Dragon is on pole position. Again, there's not much really to say apart from a fantastic lap. I'm not sure what's going on with Seto's car. It's claiming he's on an out lap, so I'm not sure if he's actually on a lap. We've got 2 comments in the stream. We'll have a look at that. We've got to, I feel like I should still go faster, but I'm happy with it, and so you should be, DJ Jess Dragon, mate. That was a fantastic lap and a well-deserved pole, I like to think, as we do. The time does hit 0, and there we go then. Qualifying is over. Very topsy-turvy grid, not one that I expected, although I did expect DJ Jess Dragon to be up there fighting. The pace he showed last season, this should have been a given that he would be up there. Again, Ashquin, one of the Indian contingent, I said that he would most likely be up there, and he is, which is fantastic. CDM as well, returning to VIL, having a fantastic qualifying in P3, even though he did struggle in his last lap. Seto on his debut in P4, good drive there by the Dutch driver. Envoy Extreme again on his debut in P5, impressing as well. Almost 1.1 seconds off the pace, which shows that the gap between the drivers in the wet is a lot bigger than the dry. There's a lot more room for error. Fozzie Bear on his return, he goes P6. Ryan Van Doom in P7 in the Williams. iStreams on his return is P8. A lot of returning drivers in the top 10, or newer drivers here. It's a very new look top 10, and unfortunately in 9th place is VIL Maz. Wasn't able to get a lap together to challenge the top, but again he got through to Q3, and everyone will have 3 choice of tyres, so it's what you can do in the race now. It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Don't forget a lot of the faster drivers, including TCF Oldboy, Fatality, Rick, are going to be up there in the race as well. They might be working their way through again. Like I said, my race pace A lot better than my qualifying pace, so I'm used to a charge for the field, and I did that quite a few times at the beginning of last season. As we are getting ready for the race, the preparations have begun, and I will be back shortly whilst I will sort myself out. But again, my predictions for the races, who even knows what's going to happen? And I think this qualifying session has proved that this league is as open as it's ever been, and I like to think even more than last season. I genuinely do not know who is going to be at the top. I think beginning of last season it was kind of a case of FIFA Beefy taking charge of the championship from the first race. You know, he was comfortably leading. He managed to even pit in to lead and still come out in front. So again, I think not to take anything away from FIFA Beefy, of course. I think it's a fantastic season by Alpha just consistently up there, regardless of what his qualifying was like. His race pace was immense, and that's what won him the championship. And his pace and his consistency together, no one could stop him. But again, this season, genuinely, you could throw anyone into the mix. I think towards the end of last season, we saw that quite a lot with drivers like DJ Death Dragon and the CRX lads who are now in Div 1. Even VIL Maz on his day, myself, I like to think, but again, pace not so great. We're having some problems with the loading up as I'm stuck on a black screen. No idea what's going on. As we are now in, that was some interesting loading times. As I'm not sure what's actually happening here. Apparently I'm in P17. Don't know why, but apparently I'm P17. As I'm at the back, but again, I don't think this was on the agenda at the start that I was actually racing. I'm going to have to complete a full lap at the back before retiring. So this is something you don't see every day. A commentator racing when he shouldn't be. I will have to do a full lap as I'm not allowed to retire on track.
Didn't catch that.
So it just means that I'm going to have oh, this is fantastic. So I'm going to have to retire now in the pits at the end of lap 1. I might get told to leave, but again I'm going to have to AI whilst we figure out what to do. This has been quite a messy stream. First race of the season, getting used to how it all works. I want to be a commentator, not racing. Yeah, that's fine by me. So I've been told basically to just retire in the pits, which is fair enough. I'll get anyone's way. There's a safety car. That wasn't very good. Again, I'm not used to racing with the controller, but the chat is basically all agreeing that I need to retire, so which is kind of what I was expecting anyway. Again, this feels like strange racing on the controller. I've got nothing set up, so this is a very different stream. But as you can see, the drivers around, including Fatality, who are in P15, are starting on the medium, so they'll be going along the first stint. You just got to pretend that I'm not here and that I'm actually the guy in the sky commentating. I'm not just a Renault lingering at the back. As I think the game is believed that I've just joined, but not as a spectator. Hence why the issue has occurred. This wasn't what I was expecting. I don't think many viewers were either. So again, apologies for for this slight confusion. We've had a difficult start to the season in terms of the stream, but hopefully now we can get through that and enjoy the season. So here we go then for the first race of the season. Again, unfortunately, I'm going to miss all the action in the first lap because it's put me in a car. It's not ideal at all. It's really not ideal, and unfortunately I will miss it, and I really do apologise. Again, I will just keep apologising to the viewers for what has been a messy first qualifying of the season in terms of the stream. I think the qualifying quality has been fantastic. 9 comments now on the stream, so we'll see what's being said and what's been agreed upon. They're basically being told to retire in the pit, so what I will do is I will lift off at the start, as we're just waiting for Buzzer Boy to ready up. Here we go then for the I'm Not Racing Grand Prix. Here we go to 5 red lights. As this isn't exactly what I had in mind for the start of the season, and I'm missing all the action. I want to see what's happening. There's already some carnage at the back. One of the Mercedes of PGB suffering damage as we head into the corner where Lewis Hamilton suffered problems in 2018, as we've got a Red Bull there of Ice Stream struggling as well. Problem is I don't want to get in the way of any of these drivers, so I will just pull aside myself. So I've made a position without even trying. I think Ice Stream's just struggling at the moment. I'll pull to the side of the track and let them go. I'm at the back of the grid here, and again, I'm not going to get anyone's way of racing. We do have 6 viewers in the stream. If you are watching, good evening. This isn't what you were probably expecting. You were expecting a commentary stream. It's put me in the car for the race, so I spent the first lap of the race crawling around the back, trying not to get in anyone's way. Ryan Van Doom was having some problems, and he's down at P16 now. Just after a very good Q qualifying 3, he found himself down at the back as we head through Maggots and Beckett's. It is a Mercedes of Ash Quinn that leads. I believe that DJ Jeffrey has had a difficult start, as I'm trying not to get in the way of anyone, pretty much. There's PGB there struggling. Ryan Van Doom will overtake him, so the Mercedes is struggling. I'm trying not to get in the way of anybody. And unfortunately, that's my time in the race over. I am now basically out of the race. So, out of a race I wasn't even expecting to join. So we'll slowly coast into the pits. Slowly does it. And there we go. Retire from the session. Thank you, that was a very fun race. And now I'll get on with what I was meant to be doing in the first place. And that was commentating. 7 viewers in the stream then, and it is Ash Quinn that leads from Seto. DJ Death Dragon, as my leaderboard is doing some very strange things, so you'll have to excuse me whilst I work out what the hell is going on. I believe that it is the Ferrari of Seto that is causing some problems, so we may have to ignore him for the time being. But from what it seems on the track map, it is Seto that is currently 2nd place. DJ Jet Dragon is currently in 3rd, so the pole man already dropped 2 positions. CDM in P4. So the biggest gainers from that start was Fatality, Bazza Boy, Multivab C from P13, so he was one of the dark horses. He's made a fantastic start to the race, so both racing points in P8 and 9. Rick in P6 there in the Haas, the 5 positions from P11, as Envoy Extreme already has a 3-second time penalty as we head through the final sectors of lap 2. As you can see there, the Renault of myself has retired, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's happened to him, although I do believe he is now a commentator. We don't know what's happened. So Rick is now P6, Multivab in P7, so he has got past the McLaren, as we've got more yellow flags. So I'm wondering if PGB is having problems. And look at this now, CDM side by side. It's actually Rick. It's Rick that's got past Envoy Extreme, and Rick's having a fantastic race so far, and he's already up to P6. Fantastic start there by the Haas drivers. We're into lap 3. DRS is enabled, and Envoy Extreme will not give up this fight. But I do believe that Rick has got the move done. He did look for a move down the inside, but Rick had every right to basically shut the door. and basically told him, nope, I am through to P4. You're going to have to fight the position. So the three drivers who currently have penalties are PGB, the reserve, Batter Boy, the rookie, and Envoy Extreme on his first race, as Envoy Extreme runs very wide through Cops as we head into Maggots and Beckett's then. We'll keep an eye out on the intervals between the drivers and any battles going on. We do have yellow flags again. I'm wondering if that's for the Williams of Ryan Van Doom at the back, who's having a very difficult race. As Envoy Extreme now all over the back of the Haas of Rick. He goes to the outside. Is he going to have a look to the move into the final chicane? Here we go then. Into the braking zone. We've got yellow flags again. I think that will be for PGB. And once again the game is saying that Seto is currently down in P16, but we know that he isn't. As Envoy Extreme there, starting to lose a little bit of time to the Haas of Rick. Again, I really would like to apologise for the mess of a streaming as we go to the battle at the top then. And Seto and Ashquin, the Indian driver, had a fantastic start to the season. Is keeping Seto behind him. We'll have to ignore the leaderboard at the bottom. His internet problems, meaning that the leaderboard is a teeny weeny little bit messed up. But currently the top three is Ash Quinn in the Mercedes, who's had a fantastic start to this race. The pole sitter is currently in P3, Seto in P2. That means that CDM is actually currently in P4. So a fantastic drive by the Haas boys, who last season finished 9th in the constructors. The full-time drivers either struggled or just weren't able to get the good results. We've got yellow flags again. I believe that would be for the Williams and Ryan Van Doom. We're really struggling. There's a bit of team orders at play there, and Rick is through on the soft tyres, and he's made 8 positions at the start of the race. That's fantastic going there by number 14. Obviously CDM playing the team game, which is good to see, but unlike real life, the Haas boys actually playing by the rules and working with one another. As Rick does get the fastest lap of 28.902 there, and already pulling out a bit of a gap to the car behind. We'll go back with the battle then for P2 as DJ Jeff dragging. Oh, and there's contact, and Seto has been spun around, so I'm not sure what's happened there. But the Ferrari finds himself down in P16 now, number 22. The Dutch driver in his first VIL race, and he finds himself down at last, but obviously he isn't. And he's actually behind the AlphaTauri of TCF Old Boy. We'll go back on board with the battle at the front, then Ashquin is pulling away now, 1.2 seconds a gap between himself and DJ Jeff Dragon, with Rick in 3rd place currently in the Haas. We've got yellow flags again, but I'm not sure particularly what for, as we are now in lap 5:26 already in the British Grand Prix, flying past. The battle for P6 is starting, or the battle for P5 we should say, as Maz picks up his first penalty of the race, currently down in P11 as Envoy Extreme gets a little bit shaky there, and is going to allow the 2 AOR boys, and he moves across to try and defend and get past Multi-Rapsi to the inside. Fatality round the outside, fantastic move by the McLaren, but and fantastic racing by the boys here into the final chicane. Has Fatality got the move done? No, he hasn't, and he has to stay put as Fozzie Bear now gets involved in the battle. This really is an interesting battle that's beginning to unfold. We'll go on board with Fatality through the first corner then. And no, Envoy Extreme will hold his ground, but Multi-Rapsi already pulling out a bit of a gap there to the AlphaTauri behind. We've got yellow flags once again, but again they're showing yellow flags, but I'm not actually sure what for. It must be PGB having a difficult race. And look at this then, as DJ Jeff Dragon does get past Ashman for the lead, but we'll still with this battle here for P6, and Fatality is through on those mediums. That is really crucial for the race. Fantastic move there by the German driver. He bided his time and he managed to get past. But in terms of the battle for the lead, DJ Jeff Dragon on those medium tyres, so we'll have a look then. Obviously free choice of tyres at the start of the race, and DJ Jeff Dragon did go on the mediums along with CDM. Ashquin and Rick decided to go for pace, and look at this already, the hash driver Rick already hassling the front two. 1.4 seconds is now more or less the gap between himself and his teammate further back, who might start to back him up into Multi-Vab C, with a further nearly 3 seconds back, or 2.7 seconds I should say. We've got yellow flags again in sector 1, so some of the drivers at the back having difficult races, but meanwhile the battle at the front, this is going to be really exciting. DJ Death Dragon on those mediums, already in the lead of the Grand Prix. Number 27, loving his helmet there in the Alpha Male. Yeah, loving his racing helmets. Yeah. Right, P9 is TCF Old Boy. He does pick up another 3-second time penalty on those medium tyres. He showed his pace in Q1, but unfortunately he's not seems to be making the most of it. Obviously it's a difficult start to the race, or a difficult qualifying I should say, in the build up to the race. So currently we have got no retirements as such from drivers who actually have raced. Seto should be, I believe, behind the Alpha Tauri. He should be in P9, but again the game has glitched him out to be a lap behind, hence why he is down in P16, as there is a battle there commencing between Old Boy and Fuzzy Bear, which Old Boy has completed, and we've got yellow flags again, but I don't think there's anything wrong. Envoy Extreme at the moment really starting to struggle there on those tyres. Look at the gap between himself and Fatality, almost 2.3 seconds now the gap. As we head through Cops, as we head towards Maggots and Beckett's, Fuzzy Bear does pick up another 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. And now I can't work out on my screen whether TCF Old Boy is or is Envoy Extreme that's lagging. All we do know is Alpha Tauri are playing a team game here, or is Envoy Extreme going to go for it in Britain? Round the outside goes Old Boy, and I think that might have been orchestrated, although in saying that, Old Boy comes back across and nearly actually gives his own teammate wing damage there, but luckily enough it was clean and he got the move done. Fantastic driving there by Old Boy, who is now finally starting to work his way up through the field and show his pace he had in qualifying. Meanwhile VIL Maz down in P12, and unfortunately that's been a difficult race for him so far. I honestly thought he might work his way up through the field or even make some more positions, but he actually seems to be falling back more than anything else. He is on the mediums, mind you, but the two drivers at the back having an absolute day from hell is Ryan Van Doom and PGB. Returning driver there, Ryan, and the brand new driver of PGB in the Mercedes reserve. He was technically in my seat, so unfortunately he's having a difficult day. Both Indian drivers in those Mercedes, talking about that contingent once again. But they've done fantastic. They're doing fantastic in the race so far. Anyway, at least one of them is in P2. I think Kurt would have been doing well if he was here, but he isn't. So unfortunately, we can't say anything because he's not here. In the battle for P5, look at this then, Multi-Vab C and Fatality, the two AOR lads. I've raced with both of these in AOR, I do race with them now as well, and they're both fantastic to race with, I've got to say. As Multi-Vab C then on the back of Fatality on the hanger straight. He doesn't want to be using most of the rest, but he seems to be doing so as Envoy Extreme is out of the race. Envoy Extreme has crashed, so a difficult situation regarding his tyres, and that's put him in a position where he's crashed out just at the end of Maggots and Beckett's. I wonder if he's actually crashed from that position. What we do know is the safety car's being deployed, and that has completely changed the face of the race. And now this is interesting because both Hasses are pitted. At least I thought both of them had, but they haven't. People like Rick and Multi-Vab C, Fuzzy Bear Ice Streams are all going to benefit from this safety car, because the safety car is 3 laps long. And again, you can definitely take medium from that point to the end of the race. But interestingly enough, Fatality decided he wants to just pit and get another fresh set of tyres on hard, which will be quite difficult to warm up after the restart. But that is really interesting decisions there from some of the drivers. This has actually helped Maz though, because he's now up to P4 again. He hasn't pitted, but the track position is so important sometimes on this track, because you're travelling at such high speeds. There's no difference in speed, so you might not be able to get a good run out of certain corners. As we're in the safety car, we'll give you a quick rundown of the field, as I'm going to have to shoot off for just a minute, and I'll be back, and hopefully I don't miss much action. As obviously we're under the safety car, so that was a crash by NXGN Envoy Extreme, the AOR veteran. Unfortunately his debut after a decent qualifying fell back during the race, and unfortunately spun and hit the wall. 7 laps on the soft tyres. Might be feeling the wear already, which is most likely. I think he had some good battles, good racing with his teammate for today's race, at least, TCF Old Boy, and unfortunately for him, that is his race over. So for the Brit at his home race, unfortunately the fans won't be seeing an AlphaTauri anywhere in the top 10 because unfortunately he's out of the race. So he is the first retirement of the race. You'll have to ignore me at the bottom, as I shouldn't have been racing. Currently the Red Bull boys, P11 and P12, Ice Streams and Bazza boys, so difficult race for them so far. In terms of difficult, you got to say Ryan Van Doom and PGB are having a race to forget, but again their race has been saved by this safety car because they're able to close up the gap that they lost. As you can see there, PGB is almost like whack down. That is incredible. And he's got a 5-second penalty for crossing the pit lane exit white line. That is a mouthful. Basically being a naughty boy, and has found himself with a 5-second penalty. So DJ Jeff Dragon does lead from CDO in the Haas there. So the Alfa Romeo, the tradition of the Alfa Romeo driver being the fastest on the grid is continuing, as we can see. He's in first place. If did the exact same thing last season, I will have to shoot off very shortly, and I'll continue with the rest of the field in just a minute. As I've returned for the next part of the race, so lap 11 of 26 then, and the top three is DJ Death Dragon, CDM and Madden, who was going about his business very quietly, is currently in P3. Fantastic job there by the Ferrari driver. Maz is in P4, benefit from the safety car there, all the drivers around him are pitted. But again, who knows, there might be another safety car. You just don't know what to expect in Formula 1, and obviously the medium runners will be going along into the race. Most of them longer than usual because they're all on fresh tyres. Ash Quinn there in, well, technically a net P2, or P5 we should say, in that Mercedes. He did lead for the early part of the race, but unfortunately his tyres fell off, or for whatever reason he didn't have the pace, and Death Dragon was able to capitalise. That's put him in a really good position, as I believe my mic might be a bit too quiet. So yeah, at the moment, Rick is in P6, again a fantastic position. Started P11, had a fantastic first lap, and it just seemed to carry that pace throughout. As he says, does say in the chat, oh my god, I'm in such a good position. Well, let's see what he can do then, because he's 11 laps in, there's still 15 to go. Can he convert his good pace into a good result? We'll have to see what happens. Fatality in another position on those hard tyres. So while the medium runners might be just about getting to the end, Fatality will definitely, he'll go to about lap 46, and that'll earn lap 26 on those hard tyres. They are long, durable, may not have the pace to begin with, but as the laps go on and the fuel decreases, in a good position. As the safety car is in this lap, Multi-Rab C, All Boy, Fozzie Bear complete the top 10. I streamed Ryan Van Doom, Bazzaboy the new boy, PGB and well, settled in P12, but we'll just have to ignore him for now, unfortunately, as I'm not sure what's going on with his car. We'll go back to the front then. DJ Jess Dragon has got the prerogative to slow down and speed up whenever he likes. However, it can't be too dramatic, otherwise we might see a Mugello, or we might see some 5-second penalties being dished out because of the difference in speed of the drivers as we do restart. So here we go then. 15 laps to go of the British Grand Prix, the first race of the VIL season. Alfa Romeo, a familiar position at the moment like last season, as DJ Jess Dragon chooses to go now, and he pulls away. A good restart there in fact, but CDM will follow him close behind. Madden in P3 number 66. VIL Madden has a good restart, but Ashquin already on the back of the racing point. Is he going to go for a move into the right hander? No, he won't, but look at that, he's got such a good run here. He's going to go to the inside. Maz didn't actually realise at number 9 and Ashquin's going to get through. He is. Fantastic move there by the Mercedes driver. He put his nose in when he needed to do and got the move done. Fantastic move there. I don't think Maz has got anything to respond with, unfortunately, and he's dropped to P5. Rick then already on the back of Maz. Is he going to go to the outside? Oh, round the outside. He doesn't actually manage to get that move done, but that's brought fatality, and so already some good racing at the start. CDM only 3 and a bit tenths behind DJ Jess Dragon as well, as Maz is already struggling. Look at this, he's got the Haas, he's got the McLaren behind him as well, and his teammate's not too far behind on 2-lap all mediums. So Multi-Lab C at the moment, who currently has no penalties alongside fatality, in a really good position in the race. Bazzaboy there picked up a 3-second time penalty for those dreaded words, multiple warnings. Yeah, so 7th and 8th AOR lads, both doing a very good job there in the McLaren and also in the Racing Point. We've got Envoy Extreme saying in the chat, I got impatient and made a stupid move as Fozzie was with his car on. Yeah, unfortunately, Envoy Extreme, we've got some crazy happenings, and that is iStream's round and he's facing the wrong way. Oh, for the Scottish driver, that is going to turn out to be a very difficult long race as he nearly spins it again. So he's struggling to actually get the traction down. We'll go back to the train at the front because it's all starting to kick off now. We've got the McLaren behind Rick. VIL Martin P7. There's going to be some team orders here. He does pull alongside as Multi-FC does go through. Is TFC All Boy going to have a look? And I'll tell you what, as iStream is struggling at the back, unfortunately, that's his race more or less over. I'm fumbling over my words. I do apologise for that as well. So the Alfa Romeo then, of DJ Jess Dragon, already out of his DRS. He's doing a Sebastian Vettel from his dominance days. As we'll go back to that point about Envoy Extreme, it's really unfortunate that you crashed out, mate. I think you were having a fantastic race, and you could have gone off for some decent points. Again, the safety car was what you caused. Unfortunately, obviously your retirement caused the safety car, so I was going to say the safety car had benefited you, but if you hadn't crashed, there wouldn't have been a safety car. That's silly thinking from me. Anyway, back to the front, and Ashquin is all over the back of his fellow Indian compatriot. Madden in the Ferrari goes to the outside. The side by side, is he going to give him the room? He does do. To the inside, and Ashquin hasn't actually got the move done, but that means that Rick is going to have a look, and he goes off the track as well. They're side by side at the first corner. The Jess Dragon still pulls away from CDM. Rick actually runs wide and actually is going to lose time now to the McLaren behind, as fatality goes to the inside. Oh my goodness me, and fatality there sends an opportunity, and as a 4-car train started to form, make that 5, make that 6, and soon enough you might even make that 7. As currently Maz is really struggling now. We'll look at the penalty situations. So Maz Duncan has the most, so it's turning out to be a very difficult race for the Racing Point driver, as the gap is starting to form between 10th place and 9th place Bazzaboy. You can already see that divides the track map, but look at the top 2 of CDM and DJ Jess Dragon. As now Ryan Doom gets past VIL Maz. Is Maz going to fight here? I don't think he will, and Ryan Van Doom had a difficult race himself. Has overtaken VIL Maz, and there we go. Ashquin gets another 3-second time penalty, which goes up to 8. As we head through Maggots and Beckett's there, Rick decides to take quite a lot of the corner. Well, try to take a lot of Beckett's there on the inside curb as we head to the battle ahead. Is Ashquin going to go for a move down the inside? He runs wide on the grass. He's so close to the Ferrari. The dirty air will be helping. And as we head into the final few corners, Ash Quinn will be looking to try and get past Madden now. As Rick is a further 2 tenths, this is turning out to be a really close battle, but look at the train that's starting to form behind. Wow. As we've got Multivab C and Old Boy getting involved, and Fatality as well in the battle. As Fatality and Multivab C, the curse has happened, and they've both got penalties. And then look that down the inside goes Rick. Ash Quinn will have to fight it. Is he going to try and do the switch back here? They're both on medium tyres, but he's got to be careful not to clip the driver behind as he goes to the inside. Inside towards into sector 1, and that would have been an incredible move. He's going to try and do some kind of switchback move there. He was trying to break early to get a better run. The idea with this is you need to square the corner off and get a good run onto the old start straight, as we've got 77 skills in the chat saying I got dirt when I was in P2, ha ha ha. It's unfortunate, yeah, there's been some unfortunate incidents today for some of the drivers. But if they just keep going, and hopefully the results might go your way. As Rick now gets another 3-second time penalty. So the current situation is that first and third, both Ferrari powered cars don't have penalties, and the gap has started to form between the top 3. As look at this then, Ash Quinn to the inside, finally gets the move done on the Ferrari. Is Rick going to have a look as well, and he's just following him through, and he does do. And he's through, fantastic move, and the Ferrari starting to fall back. Is Fatality going to have a look down the inside? He won't do. As DJ Jeff Dragon is now struggling, and DJ Jeff Dragon is pitted. Jeff Dragon is pitted, so of course he didn't pit under the safety car, so he's now going on soft to the end of the race. So he's going to fall all the way down to the back of the grid, unfortunately. I think Maz does pit as well. Yep, so Maz is pitting as well for softs. So this could be an interesting end to the race. So the charge for the field now for DJ Jeff Dragon. Strategically, he's put himself in a bad position, and it is now CDN that leads, and it will be Ash Quinn that will take the provisional lead, as Maz does retire in the pit lane. That's so unfortunate for Maz today. He's had a very difficult race. He just never seemed to quite have the pace, unfortunately. And I'm going to be honest about it. I think he has the potential to have a good race, but unfortunately, it's just the way sometimes it goes. As DJ Jeff Dragon, I guess a massive slide coming out of the pits. Ice Cream's also pits again, so the top 3 at the moment is forever changing, and it's currently CDM in P1, Ash Quinn in P2, and Rick in P3. Madden's not too far behind in P4, but he'll still have the pits. Fatality in P5 in a really good position on medium, for saying he's keeping up with on the hards, I should say. As we head down to the DRS on the hanger straight now, Fatality might just have enough to get past Madden here. Is he going to have a look to the inside? The McLaren might bide his time, because he knows that the Ferrari in front is pitting, but again that's centre for him to get past. As Madden does now in fact pit, so in terms of the race, that puts Fatality up to P3, as Multivab C has fallen back to P11. So I'm not too sure what's actually happened. As Rick there does get the fastest lap, so he is the fastest man on the track, and he is showing everybody why. At the beginning of the stream he did say that he felt like he could get a win today, or he did have the pace. It's good to be back. And I tell you what, he's throughout the commentators curse, he's definitely showing everybody that. But currently, on terms of penalties, it's actually going to be Fatality that would win the race. But never mind, because Rick's going to go to the outside of Ash Quinn for the lead of the race. Purple set to 1. Ash Quinn's going to fight it with everything he's got, and Ash Quinn does enough. Is Rick going to go to the inside? He thinks better of it. And this is where the race gets really interesting. 9 laps to go then in the British Grand Prix, and it's Ash Quinn that leads from Rick. As Ash Quinn and Rick are going side by side, is he going to have a look? You know, he's not. It's Netherlands versus India in the Battle of the Nations, you could say. British Swords basically saying he's had a difficult race. Stay strong, mate. As always, next race, who knows what might happen. Sometimes you just have those days where it doesn't feel right, and then you come back strong with the next race. But here we go then. Rick against Ash Quinn. This is turning out to be an exciting battle as he goes to the inside. Is Ash Quinn going to fight it? They're side by side, the Mercedes and the Haas driver. Oh my goodness me. Ash Quinn giving him in the room. Fantastic driving between the two. Oh, and he nearly loses the rear end, and now it's a three-way battle, and Fatality's going to get involved. Oh boy, just get the fastest lap of the race. Oh, this is turning into an exciting battle. It's bringing Old Boy and Bazza Boy as well as the McLaren and Fatality. And who's on the board? I think that's Rick that's gone wide, and he has gone wide. Oh my goodness me! Ashwin, he's outbroke himself and he does a switch back. Oh my goodness me! What is happening? The side-by-side fatality is going to get involved as well. Is he going to make a double move for P1? Oh my goodness me! To the inside and fatality takes the lead. But he doesn't because Ashwin fights back, and now oh boy, he's going to get involved in the battle as well. Rick struggling as he got wing damage. I don't know if he does, but oh my goodness me, this race has been completely flipped on its head. Oh my goodness me. Oh wow, 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 wow. And I need to come up for air now. 14 comments on the stream, we'll see what the most recent comment is. Lap 18, four-way battle for the lead. This is exactly why Formula 1 is amazing sport. And now Bazzaboy is going to get involved in the battle as well. As Old Boy now in who is that? That's Rick. Rick and Old Boy battling as Fuzzy Bear and Ryan Van Doom do battle. And Ryan to the outside. Fuzzy Bear giving it everything they've got. They're migrating the host. I think Maz has left the session, and unfortunately he has, yeah. So the difficult race for the Racing Point man today. But going back to this battle for P1, this is incredible. What on earth did I just witness that last lap? There was four-way battle for the lead. There was side-by-side. There was cars going wide. I've never seen anything like it. It was incredible. As we got yellow flags, lots of Red Bull ice creams, which compounded his difficult race. And Rick suddenly, for whatever reason, is now struggling with his pace. And now finds himself in P3 with Old Boy behind as Bazzaboy. The new rookie has definitely gone out of business quietly, and I'll tell you what, for me, he could be one of the drivers of the day. He's having a fantastic race, and I'll tell you what, I tip my hat off to him. I wasn't sure of his pace, obviously not knowing Bazzaboy, but he seems to be showing everyone that he's got race pace, and he's currently in a very, very nice position. But at the moment, it is Fatality that will win the British Grand Prix from P15. Incredible. Oh boy, just get another penalty, so that's just going to further make it more likely a win now for Fatality. TCF Old Boy then in P4. Falling further back is now Bazzaboy. Bazzaboy's got through, and this is interesting because for what it seems, Rick has lost his pace. Rick did have the pace, and then he lost it. It's half a second or 1.1, say 9/10 between the top three. Look at this is ridiculously close, and Rick's now reeling the two cars back in, so whatever blip he had, he seems to be working his way back up again. As look at this, the three-way battle, but I wouldn't even call it a four-way battle if Bazzaboy has got the pace for the last 6 laps. This race has flown past one of the shortest races. Excuse me, Fatality to the outside. Will he take the lead? And he does. He takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Fantastic driving by the German. Very, very much Sebastian Vettel-esque. Very clean. Stayed out of trouble. Or Sebastian Vettel from the early 2010s, that is. Very much. Very, very much the German style of driving. Very much keep your head down. Do what you got to do. Very efficient. And the fact is on hard as well. It's fantastic. Morty C there gets another 3-second time penalty. Ice creams with tyres, and we've also got Morty C, and Morty is out of the race. Morty C have a VSC. No, the Racing Points have had a disaster. We've had 4 retirements now from this race, and 2 of them are Racing Points, so we're in a good position at the start of the race. And now Morty C is out of the race. A difficult race indeed there for the Scotsman. He's on course for a good result there. However, all that does is put drivers like PGB, who, unbeknownst to me, has again after a difficult start to the race, being nearly a lap down under the safety car, managed to obviously close the gap up. He's been able to save his race. We've got 15 comments now on the stream. We'll have a look at the comments shortly. As British also just say, no multi, I feel your pain. As CDM does that, and this has completely changed the race because Ashquin's going to drive through and Rick as well. So for whatever reason, them staying close to one another has resulted in both drivers getting a drive through. once again, this race has been completely thrown on its head. Ash Quinn and Buzzer Boy now with Rick, and Buzzer Boy, is he going to get past Rick? Again, I'm not sure what's going on here. Has Rick got wing damage? I believe he might do, and he does. He has wing damage. So whatever's happened, he's now falling back, as Ryan has now. Oh boy, hit the back of Rick. Rick's gone onto the grass. Rick's race is falling apart, and he finds himself in P5. As Ash Quinn now and Old Boy are side by side, but Ash Quinn will have to eventually pit for tyres. And we'll have to pit for tyres. You'll have to get a drive through. As that has completely changed the race. And look at this, Buzzer Boy, from quite literally out of nowhere, he's now in second place. Fantastic. This race is turning on its head, or its race is changing every single second, but that 3-second time penalty might be the difference between him catching fatality perhaps and him getting P2, which still on his debut in VIL is absolutely fantastic. Meanwhile, DJ Death Dragon and I don't think he's actually overtaken the Haas, so again, both Haas's having an absolute disaster of a race. I see the now pits as well. I think there might be a perfectly timed double stack we've got in the chats. Need back onto those. We'll drive through. So unfortunately, Robert experienced some problems in the race. Again, any incidents, just post them as usual. We'll be right with you. And yeah, pretty much. Wow, about 22 of 26. And this race has just taken a shot of adrenaline to its anus, because it has completely gone mental. We've had drive-through penalties, incidents at the top. This has been incredible. This has been an incredible race, as Ash Quinn now unfortunately has to take his drive-through as he again, what on earth? He resets the track. And now he's falling backwards. And really, I'm not too sure what's just happened there. Could anyone elaborate? Never mind. Meanwhile, the battle for P4 then. Fozzie Bear and McLaren, who is having a fantastic race, again going about his business quietly. This has been an absolutely mental race, I'm not going to lie to you here. We've had so many changes to the lead, it's ridiculous. And I think fatality for the last part of this race is just commanded. He's done what he's had to do, and he's done it fantastically, and there's no doubt about that. I think he's driven a fantastic race in the second half. I know that we might have had problems in the stream. We've not had problems on the racetrack, I'll tell you that. It's been fantastic. As currently, Ashman will have to still serve his drive-through. And Old Boy's now on 12 seconds of penalties, and that really could change the course of the race. And looking at the podium, this podium could genuinely change. As Ryan Van Doom and Fozzie Bear now side by side. Will Fozzie Bear get through? Oh, this is fantastic racing between the two drivers. Look at this, they're giving it for just enough room into the final corner. Look at this is fantastic. The switchback, will he try and get it done on the Williams? He can't. And the Williams actually gets a better run here. But looking at the results now, Ryan Van Doom will pick up P2. Or it might be very close. As Fozzie Bear gets another 3 seconds of penalties. So this race is turning into an utter bonkers one, it seems. Because currently, the top three in terms of penalties, as we'll look at tyres, so again, all on relatively oldish tyres in terms of the lifespan, but PGB is up to P6, P7, or not for long, because DJ Death Dragon is passed. And this, ladies and gentlemen, could be the curveball to end all curveballs. He's currently P6, he's got the pace, 2 laps to absolutely hammer it down, and he could, and the key word here is could, at least a top 5 finish, which for saying he was down outside the points a strategical, I'm not saying mistake, but maybe a misunderstanding or a realisation that, or a lack of awareness about other drivers around him has cost him a win. He had the pace in the first half of the race, he had the pole position on that for goodness sake, and I think he had the pace. Again, I'm not too sure what's going on. I think Ashwin has served his drive through now and he finds himself down in P9, his PGB, yep, there he is in P7 again. He's had a fantastic race, a difficult race, not it? As we got more carnage, and that's Fozzie Bear gone off, Fozzie Bear in P5, and is Death Dragon going to get past him now? Oh, what is happening? This race is just, everywhere you look, it's absolute carnage. There's drivers off everywhere, there's shocks, I don't know what to think of it. As DJ Death Dragon will be patient with this, he knows he doesn't want to risk getting any penalties. You know, the drivers around him have got penalties. But again, this results could completely change as Madden now gets a 3-second time penalty, meaning that Dragon is the only driver to not get a penalty. And he gets through to P5. Fantastic move there by Dragon. He's got the pace right now, and I'll tell you what, if he can get a good last couple of laps in here, he could be on for a podium place, and that's not a lie to you either. Although, in saying that, he would get old boy if he just... Maybe it's too late. Maybe it might be just too late. But again, for the Hash drivers, I think it's been a disappointing race for them as well. They both were up there. I think CDM had the pace in the first stint, and he was staying with Death Dragon and Ash Quinn. And the same thing for Rick. I mean, his pace in the middle stint was absolutely ridiculously good. If that's even a word or even a phrase, a fantastic pace. So that's a shame there. As we start the final lap then, in fatality, this man has just been in cruise control all race. He has done what he's had to do, and he has led pretty much the second half of the race here after it all just completely exploded. Bazza Boy then in P2, who, for saying I wasn't sure of his pace at the start of the race, has come out of nowhere. A fantastic drive by this guy. He could be one to watch this season if that keeps up. TCF Old Boy then in P3, but at the moment I doubt he'll even keep that P3 if he can pull out a big of a gap, and at the moment that is the case. So, because of that, I don't think DJ Death Dragon will get a podium based on penalties, unless there is a massive implosion on the final lap, and warranting DJ Death Dragon doesn't get any more penalties or any more warnings himself. So the final lap then, fatality to start off the new season. This time last season we had an Alfa Romeo absolutely cruise to victory. This season it's been the complete opposite. It has been utter carnage from start to finish. We have had safety cars, we have had drive-through penalties, we've had drivers going off, we've had shock DNFs, we've had team implosions, mentioning how we've had comeback drives, and we've just had strategic masterclasses. And this guy here deserves this win, I like to think. Anyone deserved it, but this McLaren guy took the most of it, and fatality wins the first race of the season. He wins the British Grand Prix. Fantastic drive with McLaren. Bazza Boy gets P2. Oh boy, does get P3, I think. And if that's the case, that is a fantastic drive. Same can be said for Ryan Van Doom. He was near the back, and the fact he still came through for P4, I tip my hat off to him. The gaps are so big, I don't think penalties really matter. But at the moment, as Madden does come through the final corner there, as PGB does get P7. That's a fantastic drive there. I think for saying he was nearly a lap down under the safety car. Madden crosses the line, and it doesn't change for him as Ash Quinn does get P9. A difficult race for the Mercedes driver today. CDM will round off the points. So yeah, a race where, honestly, all I can just say is utter carnage, absolute bonkers race. This race genuinely did have everything, and the last driver to technically finish the race will be Rick across the line. And that is your race, ladies and gentlemen. We've had difficult stream, we've had difficult moments in the race. Hopefully we can get it sorted for next week. Hopefully I can get my new capture card, and then we can forget that the difficult part of qualifying with the stream ever happened. But here's your top three, everybody. Fatality, German excellence, it could be said. Brilliant drive, did what he had to do and got that job done. Absolutely fantastic drive on those hard tyres. He has the pace, and he generally could be a title challenger this season. no, genuinely, he could be a title challenger. Not genuinely, he is a title challenger. I think he's fantastic, and he's had a fantastic race. I'm running over my words, but that is your race, and look at that. The top three all start outside the top 10. I said it would take drives for the field. So your top three then: Fatality, fantastic drive for the McLaren driver, wins the British Grand Prix. Bazaboy finishes in P2. TCF Old Boy on his debut finishes in P3. Ryan Van Doon for the back of the grid, amazing comeback drive, P4. DJ Jess Dragon, in terms of strategic, given it a couple more laps, he probably would have got that top three finish. Fozzie Bear there, even though he did go wide and went onto the grass, he somehow managed to keep that P6, which is good to see. PGB and P7, absolutely just mental drive there again. Suffered a lot of unlucky moments at the start. Madden, Ash Quinn, the CDM man off the top 10. Rick, Cito, Multijob C, Ice Streams, Maz, Ember Extreme, and ignoring me, are your DNF for today's race. We're going to see if we can try and get some of the lads in. Although I doubt it, because I don't have, I believe I don't have two of the drivers added. But we'll see what we can do. And tell you what, I'll ask them to add me, and we'll see if I'll have a little chat. But if that's not the case, that will be all from me today. So I think overall a blockbuster race. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll at the VIL lads. So I'll just wait for the friend request to hopefully come through. Again, I don't know if it'll actually happen, but if we can at least get one of the podium sitters on, we'll tell you what we'll do. We'll add Fatality to the chat. Once we've added, well, try to at least add the friend on PlayStation, but I doubt it's going to work at the moment. It's very slow for me. But yeah, pretty much that is the British Grand Prix. Again, I'm kind of just vibing at the moment, kind of just chilling. I'm not sure what's actually happening, as my PlayStation has decided it doesn't want to work, or at least doesn't want to load in, which it's chosen not to anyway. As we'll sit here and we'll wait till it loads up. I genuinely don't have any idea what's going on. I genuinely have Although again, I'm it's quite unlikely that they won't join, but we'll see. Maybe I kind of just sat on stream, but yeah, it's kind of wait around, just hoping that. Just kind of wait, as we do have Fatality joining the party. Good evening. Guten Tag.
It was so tense in real life. It was never tense all the race long.
We'll just wait to see if old boy. '17, it might have been when you were 4 wide, or it was a 4-way battle for the lead. Thank you very much, and that'll be everything from me today. Round number 1 of the championship. Hopefully, next week or whenever I'm commentating again, which might not be for a few weeks now, we can get over the problems. Hopefully, I can get this issue with the capture card fixed. It's probably just a case of resolution, and it's stressing out my PC. So until next time, I've been NUF1. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your evening, and from me,